Previously on the Rod Pedersen Show.
Kenton alleges racism in Saskatchewan. Not shocked, but there's racism everywhere. I've heard the N-word in South Florida. So I don't like that. I mean, it's Kenton's experience, but don't tell me Saskatchewan is any worse than anywhere else. It's everywhere, and it needs to be cleaned up. And number 3, with the Rough Riders refusing to allow Kenton to retire as a Rough Rider, and that they won't put him into the Plaza of Honor. I guess from the article, he didn't play long enough to qualify. That's all bunk. He should go into the Plaza of Honor. I believe he's the 3rd all-time rushing leader in Saskatchewan history. All the top 5 receiving yards guys are in. So why don't you put Kenton Keith in? It's an unfortunate. My take on it is that it's the way the Rough Riders do business now. They put personal petty grudges against what's best for the franchise. And they've completely obliterated and ruined the Plaza of Honor. They've ruined it. This regime now. And it's not just one guy, it's a few guys. So I knew Kenton very well. He was popular with some teammates, not popular with others. That's life. He deserves to go in. But because of a grudge being held a couple of decades later now, he's not going to go in. It's sad, but that's Rider fans deserve better, but that's what they get. That's what it is now.
Get ready for the Rod Pedersen Show.
And we were on the road with the Rough Riders. Joe Womack was our strength coach, and he was rooming with Ron Estee. I'm coming down the elevator with Joe Womack, and he is so mad. And I'm like, what's wrong, Joe? And he goes, you wouldn't believe what Estee did. He's in his underwear, and he emptied the minibar. Smarties and the Kit Kats, thinking it's free, thinking it was a gift basket. And Joe looks at me, it ain't funny.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to a brand new week. Please do not adjust your sets. It's your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show, and in the evenings in Atlanta. Welcome to episode number 850 here on Game Plus Television, YouTube Live as always, and WQEE 99.1 FM, your home of Southern sports and talk, and your favorite podcast platform. Boy, have we got fun for you today. Let's bring in the Moose from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. We don't do the photo album anymore. I know we've suggested of bringing it back, and maybe we should, because it was a lot of fun. We've got breaking news today. We've got a very interesting poll that has, Darren, what would you call it? Diametrically opposed results based on the platform that it's being voted upon, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you what that in a second. But please tell me how your weekend was briefly before we jump into the quick 6 show topics here, sir.
Weekend was awesome. Got to spend a good chunk of it in Edmonton Friday, Saturday, and then calling a football game university level, and then was on the golf course at Deer Valley playing some golf, and then had an ear on the NFL as well. So it was an awesome weekend.
Good for you. I like to hear that. Well, our poll question, just to let it out of the bag here before we hit the show horn, and that's not it. That's not the show horn. What are you trying to play, dueling show horns? Our poll question is, what would you like us to talk about on the RP show on Monday? And I muffed this a little bit. The options I put up were NHL, CFL, NFL, KNF, or other. I didn't put other in the poll, but I should have. Running away with it on Twitter, CFL, like double the amount of other votes cast for the other leagues. Hello, what's going on? And on Facebook, on YouTube, NFL's running away with it. So go figure. Now, as I mentioned, we do have breaking news. It's from the NFL on this Monday, and I'll get to that. I just want to tell you one funny story, and I don't know if I told you this on the phone this morning or on our weekend call, but yes, I spent the weekend with some extremely well-to-do business guys, i.e., not like football guys, but pro sports guys. And these are, I've never been around guys like this before. Okay, Darren? Anybody that's followed my social media will see that I was on boats and in suites, and it was cool, man. I'm very grateful for it. But I want to tell you a little funny story. I don't think I told you this. I was driving one of them in my Jeep, no roof, on Saturday between the boat dock and the racetrack, okay? Stick with me. And as we're driving, this gentleman's beside me. A big deal. You know what I'm saying? And this car pulls up beside us with no muffler, and like it's a new car. It's like a Dodge Charger. But couldn't even hear yourself think. And I turned to him as it's spitting rain. I was racing, trying to outrun the rain. And I said, can you believe this guy driving a car like that? Who would want a car like that? Guy says, at least it's got a roof. Can you hit the show horn, please?
How about that?
Can you hit the show horn, please? Again? Yeah. And the cool thing is now being introduced to this, to new people here in South Florida. This is Rod. This is Rod. He's got a radio show in Atlanta. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Let's go with that.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Tell us more. Well, we talk about the National Football League, the Canadian Football League, the NHL, and all other sports here on the RP Show, so welcome, and let's get into it. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the NFL Week 3. Everybody watched the games, although our YouTube voters are saying that's what they want us to talk about the most. But we will get to. It's a trick question, by the way. We're going to talk about everything. So obviously the game that I was focused on and was the butt fumble, the butt punt. Sorry, not the butt fumble in Mark Sanchez 2012. There's a new infamous butt play, and it came at Hard Rock Stadium. Everybody saw it. Miami held on to beat Buffalo 21-19. I want to just settle in on this because there hasn't been a million minutes of analysis dedicated to this. For a split second, I thought the Dolphins punter meant to punt that ball into his upbacks behind because it ricocheted out of bounds. They got their safety. With the free punt, it pinned them inside the 20 to start it. It really won them the game, Darren. But the way I look at it, I think the line of scrimmage is around the 5. Do you think they were too scrunched up, too tight in that end zone? Like, how long is it for the line of scrimmage to the punter? How long do you need?
11 yards, typically, is the number. And with the punter's legs that they have now, they want more. So, just to be safe, the pass rush is so much better than it used to be. So they're kind of pushing it back to 15 yards. So that would have been right there in the uncomfortable zone. You only got a 10-yard end zone. Yeah, but why not just take the safety anyways? Give up the 2 and punt the football away. But it worked out for Miami.
It's football god stuff, man. That's what it is. The Dolphins, I think, are a team of destiny. Oddly enough, they haven't been 3-0 since 2018. I thought it'd be longer than that. But Mike McDaniel's only the second coach in Dolphins history to start his career here 3-0. So it's a hell of a story. I see people are writing in with their comments, and I'm reminding myself that this is our time. We'll get to them later. It's just too many comments coming in. Phil, watching on YouTube, says, watching that butt punt almost felt like I was watching a deleted scene from the movie Waterboy. I know, right? It just seems so weird. Stacy from Access World Headquarters watching. Stacy says that butt punt worked out for the Dolphins anyway. I was surprised they chose to punt in the first place. So, and Carlos in Indianapolis, where the Colts surprisingly won, ruining everybody's ticket. Everybody's betting slip was ruined by the Indianapolis Colts. So you've got an interesting AFC South developing there, Moose, as you can see. But Carlos in Indy says, will we see the return of safety punts in the NFL? You really don't see punters taking safeties in the NFL. I don't know, but the free punt was cool to watch, and I'm sure there were CFL fans going, what is he doing? But if you play enough Madden, you know what it is. Your Titans won. I'll give you a minute on that. Congratulations.
Thank you. You know what? They looked really, really good for a half of football. I mean, Ryan Tannehill, Derrick Henry got going. They scored 3 straight touchdowns on 3 straight possessions. The 4th possession was a field goal. They go in the half rolling against a pretty good team in Vegas and then don't score a single point in the second half. So still need to work on having better second halves, but it's an up week for Tennessee. So I think we're happy about that.
And by the way, the Las Vegas Raiders, which is our number 1 city for viewership in the United States, Las Vegas, They're the only team in the NFL now at 0-3. It was like 3 teams that avoided going to 0-3, including the Atlanta Falcons, because the RP show is number 1 for Atlanta Falcons news and information on WQEE 99.1 FM.
Hell yes.
The breaking news from the National Football League on Monday is that they're replacing the Pro Bowl with week-long skills competitions and a flag football game. The new event will replace the full contact showcase, the Pro Bowl, which started in 1951. They're going to call this the Pro Bowl Games and will feature AFC and NFC players showcasing their football and non-football skills and challenges over several days. The 2023 games will be held in Las Vegas. The flag football game at Allegiant Stadium goes Sunday, February the 5th. Okay, we're moving on now to hockey because people say I'm saving the CFL for everybody because those CFL fans aren't going to go anywhere. They'll wait all day for you to talk about the CFL. So, point 2, the game-winning goal in his first game made for a solid first impression for Johnny Huberdeau. Can we call him that? Or is it still Jonathan Huberdeau? In his Calgary Flames debut, Huberdeau scored the first of 3 second-period goals in a 4-0 Flames win over the Vancouver Canucks split squad Sunday. Cody Eakin, Blake Coleman, and Brett Sutter also scored for Calgary. The Flames iced a far more experienced lineup than the Canucks, who kept all of their top players back home for the other half of the split squad games, and the Flames prevailed to that one, too, 3-2 in overtime. I was going to run through the games, and then I'll get your take on what happened in the NHL this weekend. Stuart Skinner in Edmonton and Calvin Pickard combined to make 29 saves for the shutout as the Edmonton Oilers started what is anticipated to be a season packed with potential. They beat the Winnipeg Jets 4-0 Sunday. Marcus Niemelainen, James Hamlin, Ryan McLeod, and Dylan Holloway also scored for the Oilers, who are 1-0 now in preseason play. That was their first game. Big save, Dave. Riddick made 22 saves for the Jets in a losing cause. We pause for a word from our sponsor. It's garbage day today. Tomorrow it'll be lawn day. Wednesday will be hurricane day. Anyways, Edo Japan. Delicious Japanese-inspired meals and snacks made to order with high-quality ingredients. Check them out today, Edo Japan. And for the Eastern Canadian hockey fans, Leafs and Sens, Mark Kostelic scored the winner as the Ottawa Senators stormed back from a 2-0 deficit in the third period to beat the Toronto Maple Leafs 4-2 and take the second game of a split squad doubleheader. That was on Saturday. Angus Crookshank, who I might say has the best name in the NHL today. Angus Crookshank, Josh Norris, and Tyler Mott scored for the Senators. Anton Forsberg made 13 saves in goal. Kalle Yarncroc had both goals for Toronto. Ilya Samsonov, in his first appearance and signing in free agency, stopped all 16 shots he faced. In the earlier game, Justin Hall had a goal and an assist as the Leafs scored on 3 straight shots in the second period to beat the Sens 4-1. In that game, Austin Matthews dressed. Morgan Riley, TJ Brody all scored for the Leafs. Ottawa countered with Norris, Brady, Tkachuk, Drake Batherson, and Thomas Chabot in their lineup. So, do you have any take on that? I have a few more NHL notes before we move on, but do you have any on those games?
No, preseason games, not really important to me. The only thing I thought was interesting, you bring up the name Mark Kostelic, and I just remember, haven't heard that name in so long, but he used to play with the Calgary Hitmen and played pretty well. So good to see him still having success at the pro level.
Kid must be old. He played when I was calling the games. I remember saying Mark Kostelic. Actually, I think I said Kostelic, and they're like, no, it's Kostelic. Johnny Gaudreau had 3 assists in his Columbus Blue Jackets debut, a 5-1 win against the Pittsburgh Penguins at Nationwide Arena in Columbus on Sunday. Yeah, Johnny Hockey had 3 helpers for the Blue Jackets. Jordan Frasca scored for the Penguins, and Dustin Tokarski made 27 saves for the Penguins, who won 3-2 in overtime at home against Columbus earlier Sunday. Dustin Tokarski from Watson, Saskatchewan, right? Home of the world's largest Santa Claus. That's your neck of the woods. That's your neck of the woods, right?
It is. That's pretty close, about 30 minutes from where I grew up.
Okay, cool. I'm going to jump into this. Sports on tap tonight for the Tap Brewhouse and drive-through liquor store. I'll just say this. Florida and Nashville playing in a doubleheader in Nashville. So I'm hoping to watch at least one of those games. Florida at Nashville today. New Jersey Devils at Montreal. Islanders at the Rangers. Blues at the Stars. Oilers at Seattle, and the LA Kings visit the Vegas Golden Knights. Hey, another word from our sponsors. Landmark Cinemas. In theaters now, Spider-Man: No Way Home. For the first time in the cinematic history of Spider-Man, our friendly neighborhood hero is unmasked and no longer able to separate his normal life from the high stakes of being a superhero. When he asks for help from Doctor Strange, the stakes become even more dangerous, forcing him to discover what it truly means to be Spider-Man. Spider-Man: No Way Home, in theaters now. Check them out at your local Landmark Cinemas. Okay, to the Canadian Football League, and I want to give a huge shout-out to the Argos. I'm going to do that after our first commercial break, and you'll find out why then. But here's what happened in the CFL. Week 16, it was Friday? Montreal beat Hamilton 23-16. The Owls are the hottest team in the CFL since week 9 at 4-1. I'll continue to say that. I'm not even an Alouettes fan, but I feel that they are due some credit for winning 4 of their last 5 games, but they still haven't clinched. By virtue of Saturday's games, Toronto beat Ottawa 45-15. This wasn't much of a game. And then Calgary beat BC. BC beat Calgary. Oh, Calgary won. I'm sorry, I wrote it down right. Calgary won 25-11. But the Stamps, the Lions, the Argos all clinched on the weekend. So the games weren't great. I don't know how much of them you watched, Darren, but a lot was sorted out by virtue of those playoff clinchers.
That's the time of year we're in now. Is we're starting to see teams getting their spots locked down, and for Toronto, I think that's important for them to continue to flex their muscles and build if they're going to go on a run in the East. But Montreal again. Now we find out, because the playoff spots now, as you're a team on the outside looking in, you're looking at spots getting locked up. You're like, oh, we better get our stuff together because we need to lock down one of these spots. You look at the teams that are still alive in the playoffs, so it'll be interesting the next couple of weeks.
Well, they're not, even though they've clinched, and those rich guys on the weekend said to me too, you're the only guy that talks CFL. And I say again, I'm not sure that's a compliment. That might make me an idiot. I'm not sure. But BC and Calgary are tied for second place. They both have 9 wins, 18 points. So despite the fact they've clinched, they want second place. They want home field in the playoff. Nobody's catching Winnipeg. They're very close to clinching themselves for number 1 overall. But munch on this, folks, in the break. And I will say this, one of the guys, which they don't want to be named, and I'm okay with that. One of them, I said, who are you a fan of in the CFL? And he goes, the whole league. And I said, that's not as crazy as you might think it is, because I'm not a Rough Riders fan, despite being with them for 20 years and growing up there. I'm a fan, like him, of the whole league. That's why we talk about them as much as we do, because we love the CFL. So having put that caveat out there, you munch on this in the break too. How concerned should Saskatchewan be? Is it not a feather in their cap that they weren't in the first wave of clinching teams? That was Winnipeg. They weren't in the second wave of clinching teams. That was this weekend. They still haven't clinched yet. And they're hosting a Grey Cup. So forget about, it's the millionth year in a row the Calgary Stampeders have clinched a playoff berth. Kudos to them. But why isn't Saskatchewan? They're supposed to be the marquee team every year. And now they're hosting the Grey Cup, and they haven't even clinched yet, and they might not make the playoffs? How's that look? So kudos to the Argos coming up. We've got Canada West football to talk about, Blue Jays, college football, and, of course, our beloved junior hockey, too. We'll be right back. We're halfway through the warm-up on the Game Plus television network. Also, YouTube live streaming audio 24/7 at rodpeterson.com. And on your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right. And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
RP Show continues. 902-518-3033, the number to text us, and an interesting contrast in some messages that have come in before I pick back up with our quick six show topics here. Interesting contrast as we bring in the Moose from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle. Dan in Saskatoon writes in, Moose, he says, morning, guys. I think we could now crown Jevon Holland as the top Canadian playing any level of football right now. He's talking about the Dolphins' safety. Toronto kid. He says, I believe he will have that title for perhaps even the next decade. Only in his second season, and a big reason why the Dolphins are 3-0. Again, that's from Dan in Saskatoon. I don't know, and they in Miami don't know how to say his name yet. All day I heard Jevon. He keeps playing like that. They'll figure it out. Played at Oregon, right? Second round pick of the Dolphins. Just a killer. I was sitting with Gil Scott yesterday, agent to the star. Probably for 30 years, the most influential man in the Canadian Football League. I'm not joking, as an agent. He's got NFL guys, too. And he turned to me and he goes, what about this Dolphins defense? I'm like, they get no credit, right? No credit. But, yes, is there a better Canadian in the NFL or any other league right now? I don't think so.
I don't think there is. I mean, that Dolphins defense is very underrated. It's the story of that weekend. I know, Josh Allen still threw for 400 yards in that football game, but, they held this team in Buffalo, I think, under 20 points, right? I mean, that's a feat in itself. When the Bills are a team that are going to come in there and really, you talk about a team that doesn't punt the football ever. They finish drives, they score points, and they just keep nickel and diming you down the field. But that defense in Miami did a heck of a job yesterday. and Hall is a big reason why in the back end.
I enjoy the coverage, and while I've never coached football, I've worked in the league and around it in various leagues long enough. I know the game, and I saw the Bills racing up and down the field all day long. But I defer to Gary Echeverry, the famous Gary Echeverry, the pencil behind the ear Gary Echeverry, who's in Spokane, Washington now. I remember him saying to me once, Rod, all yards are the same, but not all our yards are equal. I hate people that talk in riddles. And he wasn't really talking in a riddle. What he's saying is, we'll give you between the 20s, but from 20 yards and in, And that's kind of what the Dolphins were doing. We'll let the Bills go up and in, think they're all stars, but we're going to tighten it up in the red zone. And that's exactly what happened. And I'll move on, but everybody's talking about that game. And Josh Allen, the Bills quarterback, did you see in his eyes? That's what I love about high-definition television. You can see in his eyes the bewilderment. He was lost. He played like it, rifling balls into the dirt. Anyways, the contrast of the the comments here. Here's Stephen in North Dakota. Greetings and hallucinations from Stanwood, Indiana. Iowa. He said, can the Riders buy a playoff position? Trust me, Stephen, if they could, they would have by now. And he says, I'm sporting RP show and NDSU gear. Great / only CFL coverage. That from Stephen. So, yes, we do lead the league in CFL coverage, but there's not a lot of competition. I said that I wanted to give a shout-out to the Toronto Argonauts, and here's why. From their outstanding communications guy, Chris Balanovich, he writes, it said on a news release today, the Toronto Argonauts are visiting Holland Bloor View Kids Rehabilitation Hospital today. The visit marks the team's biggest community appearance of the year, and up to 25 double blue players will meet with children from the state-of-the-art hospital. Players will spend time with children distributing gifts, taking pictures, signing autographs, and playing football with them. Holland Bloor View Kids Rehabilitation Hospital believes in creating a world where all youth and children belong. They're the only children's rehab hospital in Canada focused on combining world-class care, transformational research, and academic leadership in the field of pediatric disability. Bravo, Toronto Argonauts. Yeah, I would think that other teams are doing hospital visits, but we don't know about it, and I have absolutely no problem, of course not, with them sending out this news release that they're going to this kid's hospital. And I'm going to tell you something. As a guy who's done a lot of hospital visits in this vein myself, it's not just the kids. You get a hell of a lot of it out of it yourself. I've taken players, gone with players, gone on my own, and just bravo Argos. It's obviously something those kids will never forget. Some will get out of that hospital. Some won't. We all know that. But I think it's important that that message gets out, Darren, and I'm happy to read that today.
Yeah, really awesome. I mean, what can you say? I mean, other than you love hearing stories like that, and we know more teams are doing it. I'd love to hear more about it. I think it's just an awesome day.
Just dabbling in the viewership here from Weed and Wrestling. Weed and Wrestling's the name. He says, I voted for some NHL talk, preferably Oilers or Pacific Division in general. Well, brah, we covered that last segment. So you're going to have to stay with us the whole time. I think the best bet for anybody, Darren's to lock in at 10 a.m. Mountain, noon Eastern. I've only said it 850 times, if not more. So, yeah, thanks for the vote, but we talked about it already. Nelson, our VP of Sim Event, says, for a team that doesn't get a lot of PR, that is huge community engagement for the team and huge for those kids and families. Like you say, you got to get the word out, and I don't mind just dropping anchor on this for a second. It's a slippery slope. There are people that say, why do you got to send a news release out? It's not about that. Send your players. Nobody needs to know about it. That's not the why. What does it hurt? Mind your own business. How do you feel about Like, I'm all for what they did. Going and telling the world you're going. That's good karma stuff, I think. How do you feel about it?
People get mad when you say selfless good deed. Why'd you tell anybody about it? You're just doing it for selfish reasons to tell people about it. But that's not the point.
Yeah.
You want to share good stories about your life and when things go well. And when we tell stories like this, maybe that will lead another team to going and doing the same thing, and another team to go and be innovative and come up with something different to give back and help. And it could help grow that community. I think it's wonderful. Keep telling people about all the great things that you're up to.
I saw somewhere online, somebody was criticizing me for the amount of times that I've said that I'm in recovery, 7.5 years sober. And I do it to show people that it's possible. So if you don't like it, GFY. Recovery works. It's why we do these things. I was just visiting a chiropractor on Saturday. He was doing the check. Well, Thursday was the first. I went back Saturday to look at my x-rays, Darren. I'll tell you the results later. And the guy said, do you drink? Do you smoke? I'm like, nope, 7.5 years sober. He stood up and gave me a pound. Good for you. So again, people are going to have their opinions. As my dad used to say, don't listen to them, Rod. Thank you. Regarding the Riders, Ted in Red Deer says the current Rider regime took over a very good squad and the coaching staff and slowly bled the talent out of the franchise. Monty in Saskatoon says, can I get a happy birthday to me? It's Monty. Happy birthday, Monty. What are you, 25? Jeff, the Stamps fan, I'll say this. He says a 12th straight year with a winning road record for the Calgary Stampeders. 34 seasons with a winning road record overall. Where are you getting this information? Good for you. He's the PR guy of the Calgary Stampeders. Way to go, Jeff, the Stamps fan. Okay, people are writing in about baseball, and I actually have that on my list. I'll just give you a word from our sponsors. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Find everything you need to know about our services, financing, product information, and more at broncoplumbing.com. Aaron Judge remained at 60 home runs, one short of Roger Maris's American League record when the Yankees' 2-0 victory Sunday over the Boston Red Sox was called after 6 innings because of rain. So, New York now going on the road. They're in Toronto tonight. So we may see Aaron Judge set the all-time record in the American League tonight or this week at Rogers Center. Jays beat Tampa 7-1 Sunday. Couple last points, and we do have some time for them. Canada West, Week 4. I have the scores here. Saskatchewan Huskies beat Alberta 38-16. Moose called it, the game. Regina over UBC 21-13 in Vancouver. And Manitoba destroyed Calgary 46-4. What do you have to say about Week 4 in Canada West football?
It was a statement game for Manitoba, who started the season as the number 6 ranked team in the country, and they've stumbled a little bit. Maybe they're getting right. The Rams are for real. We'd wondered about the game against Saskatchewan, if that was, a statement by the Rams. Turns out it was. And then this week you'll have Alberta and Regina going head-to-head on Saturday afternoon. I think the winner of that game will go on to be number 2 and host the playoff game. So I think it's a pretty important game.
Nice wrap. Point 6. Junior hockey. There's a ton out there. We are broadcasting anchored out of Toronto, after all. It is Canada. How about this? God's team, the Regina Pats, my favorite team. Connor Bedard, of course, the number 1 pick in this upcoming NHL draft, held scoreless Friday night at home on the home opener. Pats lost 5-4 to Moose Jaw. The rink was half full, half empty, depending how you look at it. Then they go into Moose Jaw Saturday night. Connor Bedard scores a hat trick, and the Pats win 6-3. So if you go and read my 10 things column, it's up at rodpeterson.com right now. I'm saying, why are we not trading him? Because, and as alumni, I believe I can say we. You can't win if he doesn't score, and you're not selling tickets either. So what are we doing here? The SJHL Showcase is on in Warman, Saskatchewan, Junior A, and their commissioner, Kyle McIntyre, will be with us on the program later on in hour 2. And I went to the Florida Atlantic Owls NCAA Division II hockey on the weekend. I was blown away, Darren. I just got to tell you, I'm sure you saw my social media. The rink was packed to the rafters, and people were getting pissed. It was Friday night. Face-off wasn't until 9 o'clock. It was students. It was old people. It was the Panthers ice den. bursting at the seams. And it was 30 degrees Celsius outside. They love hockey in Florida, man. Would you believe me that I witnessed that?
No, I wouldn't. But I can understand maybe why. If it's 30 degrees outside, maybe this is the only place to cool down and go for a air-conditioned beverage. I mean, that's awesome to see. I love it. And I more stories like that.
Yeah, it was really nice. It was a lot of fun. Okay, Moose, I'll see you later on in hour 2, correct?
You betcha.
And by then, it'll be full-on viewer takeover, whatever the viewers want to talk about. When we return, however, Mike Richards will be with us from Saga 960 Radio in Mississauga. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, 24-hour sports radio streaming now at rodpeterson.com, your favorite podcast platform, and on your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming of the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
Hey, Rod Squad, now you can join the team with your very own RP Show gear. Head to rodpetersonshop.com and get yours today while supplies last. It's just like we wear on the show, official RP Show gear at rodpetersonshop.com.
Easy snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Peterson Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Peterson Show today.
RP Show continues from beautiful South Florida. By the way, before we bring in Mike Richards, John one of our viewers, writes in from Winnipeg. Can Dallas quarterback Cooper Rush win over the Giants on Monday Night Football? 8:15 Eastern kickoff on ESPN. Paul Jefferson writes in, says, good sports morning from Humboldt, Sask. I've got the SJHL showcase on the TV and the RP show on the tablet. Jeff from Calgary says, hoping the Derek Dennis injury isn't as serious as it seems. Jeff in Winnipeg, another Jeff says, speaking of junior hockey, shout out to the Steinbach Pistons for their 5-0 start. And from Jason in Red Deer, Connor Bedard's making a trip to Red Deer Saturday. I need a date. My wife doesn't want to go. There you go. Those are the topics on the table. Let's go to Toronto now, or the area. Mississauga, Saga 960. Mike Richards joins us. And Mike, I never, ever, ever know where to start with you. What is your number one topic on your mind here on this Monday?
Bills. It's the Buffalo Bills and the Buffalo. I see you were there. Fancy schmancy, yes. Rod Pedersen. Wow, a bon vivant. I couldn't spell that,
yeah.
but I was absolutely shocked at the number of players from a personnel perspective that were going down for the Bills. I mean, it was like one of those crappy Civil War reenactments you see in Virginia with all the local losers go out and pretend that the name is Jedediah. No, your name's not Jedediah. Your name's Timmy, and you work at Walmart. And last week I saw you with no pants. So let's try to take it down. Oh, I was there with the Redcoats. Guy, you didn't go to your own prom. Let's just come back down to earth. But I think the one thing for the Buffalo Bills, it's a one-off. I'm going right by it. I'm not going to spend too much time on them losing because I still think that they're probably going to win the Super Bowl. I do have them as favorites to win the Super Bowl. When you go from the hunter to the hunted, I think sometimes philosophically in their minds, there's a lack of urgency when you get to the top of the heap a little bit. Like they had almost 500 yards to 200 yards against Miami, so they had the ball all the time. So they struggled on short yardage. For some reason, the 3rd and 1s, like they have problems with that, but they simply have the ball all the time. But that urgency to go for the jugular, for some reason, at this moment, isn't to me there. And it usually is when you are the hunter, because the reality is that Josh Allen, who's a great story. I mean, I love the kid's story, him and his dad, and coming out of California and no one wanting to take him, and he puts the VHS tapes together, still doesn't get anything. He goes to Wyoming and still coming to the NFL. They still didn't believe in him, but he believed in him. The team believes in him. The city's behind him, the players, the coaching staff. But I think at some point, this ability to be able to hold the ball and control it and throw it to whoever you want. Stephon Diggs can get it. Gabriel Davis, Singletary had a great day. But for some reason, that ultimate hunger, in execution, short yardage is just so key in that league. I mean, it really is. I mean, we look at the CFL; it's a different kind of game. You look at those two plays on how that runs. It's just a very different animal. And to me, 3rd and 1, you should never miss it. If he wants to run for it, then run for it. But there are a lot of issues, I think, that they're all mental, because there's no one position by position, at least previous to this game, that I don't think is better than the Buffalo Bills. But after this weekend, they've got to go to the practice roster. I mean, Rod, you got pads? You got a helmet? Because if you go to Buffalo, you might go on the field. I mean, they got to find some bodies, and that in this league is not easy. You see what happens when guys go down. They're down to their 2nd and 3rd position corners. Like their corners were down. At one point in the game, they were without 10 starters. And if Stefon Diggs is hurt, that's going to be a real problem for these guys. And now it's not that he can't distribute the ball. That is Josh Allen. But I just think there is just something that has been lost in translation from them going from here come the Bills to now everyone's going to come after the Bills because they got the Ravens. And that's that. They do not have a schedule. They don't.
That's going to be a tough one. And by the way, I think I am an honorary Floridian because I saw all these people on the Buffalo fans on the concourse fanning themselves, getting medical attention. It's hot. It's hot. Their face were flushed. And I'm like, go back to Western New York, like everybody else. Can I switch gears to the Leafs and ask how concerned? I know you're not a Leaf fan, I don't think, but for those that are, How concerned are they that they don't know who their opening night starting goalie is going to be? That would concern me.
Well, they should be concerned just by the fact that they didn't do anything. I just don't see in professional sport where other teams, I don't know, let's take the Calgary Flames, where players, there was this almost this feeling that players, including American players, didn't want to be there anymore. And Brad Treliving comes up with what he did. And I look at what the Flames have done. This is more a Darryl team than it was last year at this time. This is maybe a better Flames team than they had last year at this time. I think that the Flames are in a good place. I think the Montreal Canadiens improve. You look at all these teams, even teams like the New Jersey Devils might push. Does Detroit hang around? They played with house money last year. What did the Leafs do? If you're a Leaf fan, now I'm talking specifically to Leaf Nation, why do you think you're better this year? Why should the results be any different than they were the last 6 or 7 years? Because the reality, and you started the conversation with goaltending, they're not better. They're worse. And not only worse, but it's an unknown. And I don't know any championship caliber team that goes into a season and says, hey, is the Zamboni guy around? Because he's got pads. And I just, for the life of me, don't know. If I'm a Leaf fan, I'm not feeling good about this season at all. Not one bit.
They did that once already and lost. That was Carolina. Hey, Jennifer writes in, back to the NFL. She says, I'm just wondering how Tua was even allowed back in that game. He was stumbling and had to be helped off the field. I don't understand sport. This morning on ESPN, they're going, the Dolphins were lying. Because they said at halftime he had a back injury. Everybody could see it was his head. But I don't have a problem with it. He's your guy. Put him back in. He seemed fine. They're playing Thursday at Cincy, and I expect Tua will start. What if they pulled him out? It'd be a bigger controversy if they'd pulled him out, my opinion. How do you feel about that? It's a great question from Jennifer.
Okay, well, it's all about what they negotiated with the CBA and what they have in terms of protocol. So that's agreed upon by the league and by the association. So they have very strict, in fact, there are 6 sort of key points when you get put into that concussion protocol, and they can't fail any of them. Well, he wouldn't have passed any of them. If he did, it might have been 1 or 2. So by that stipulation, there's no way he can come back. And, you know, you can see former players that have made comments, and they're pretty angry. I mean, and some of them are just disgusted because there's no way that's a bad, for anyone who's had back pain. You're not wobbling around. You're just on the ground. I mean, you're flat on your back. You're not looking for solid landing because it doesn't work that way. And for them to sort of say, you know, there's going to be a real issue between the association and the Miami Dolphins. This is the day and age of protecting your marquee players, protecting the quarterback. I mean, it is workshop safety, if you want to put it that way, is paramount. And when you sort of bypass a little bit, and there's Teddy Two Gloves, I forgot where he went. I forgot he was still there. I mean, I like Teddy, but, you know, it was going to vastly and grossly change the way the game was. And look, in the old days, Rod, I'm with you. If you can get back in, you go back in. But with what they have negotiated between the players and the league, they both abided to go by those rules. And if one team kind of decides that, yeah, maybe we can get him back in there, they're going to have a real problem. So the moment he came back, I'm like, this is not going to be good. This is not. And for a guy who's had his career almost taken away because of back injuries, I wasn't worried about his back per se, but I'm thinking, you know, it's like how Joe Burrow gets sacked 27 times a game. No, he didn't because he played the Jets.
Yeah.
No, he was making peanut butter sandwiches in the backfield. He was fine last game.
Can you stay through a break and stay for one more segment?
Of course I can.
All right, Socket 960's Mike. Socket 960's Mike Richards with us, and there's a lot of viewer questions, some pertaining to the CFL. So we'll get to those when we come back. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, rodpeterson.com, streaming audio, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Peterson Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Peterson Show now.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies. I like Henry?
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina. And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Experts in all residential and commercial plumbing services and proudly serving Regina and area since 1978. Bronco Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. We'll treat you right.
Snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
Just ahead of more with Mike Richards, a sports update. Baseball fans could see history made tonight as Aaron Judge and the New York Yankees open a 3-game series with the Toronto Blue Jays at Rogers Center. With 60 home runs, Judge is 1 homer shy of Roger Maris's American League record. New York can clinch the AL East title with a win tonight. For our Atlanta listeners, the Braves are at Washington tonight. 2 Canadian teams in action in the NHL preseason slate. The Montreal Canadiens open their exhibition schedule at home against the New Jersey Devils, while the Edmonton Oilers host the Calgary Flames. Edmonton blanked Winnipeg 4-0 Sunday, while the Flames beat the Vancouver Canucks in a pair of split squad games. And as we were talking about before the break, a source has told the Associated Press that there will be a joint review by the NFL and Players Association over what went into the decision to allow Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa to return to the game Sunday despite what was called a head injury. The Dolphins quarterback briefly left Sunday's win over Buffalo after hitting the back of his head on the turf. The sports update for Edo Japan. Delicious Japanese-inspired meals and snacks made to order with high-quality ingredients. Mike Richards is with us from Saga 960 Radio, and Mike will revisit that, but one of the viewers calling in Ottawa wants to know if you think McLeod Bethel Thompson can lead the Toronto Argonauts to a Grey Cup title this year. What you think?
No, I don't. I think that he is, got that terrible, he's serviceable and is sometimes good, but there's just enough bad and not enough exceptional to be a championship quarterback. I just don't think that I expect him on a really super big day. So let's talk about the Grey Cup. They're going to go up against the Blue Bombers, which that's probably what's going to happen. Do I think that he is good enough to beat that team? No. I mean, look, in an 18-game season, when you have what, say, 2 weeks ago Hamilton did against the Bombers, I mean, that was exercising a lot of demons, and Dane had a really good game because he got a little bit of a break, got a little bit of a mental break, was able to come through, and the guys just played their guts out, which is great. But 9 times out of the 10, what do I think that score is going to be? Bethel Thompson is somebody that is, to me, was always like a placeholder, which is why I go back to my same argument. If you want something to happen in Toronto, they should have gone after Nathan Rourke. He is a local kid. He's from Oakville. He basically is from that part of the world. When do we ever have someone from Southern Ontario that's a real story, a Canadian that is also a stud quarterback? Now, of course, he's been hurt, so maybe the whole point's moot. But I just don't think that he is the guy that I believe will win a championship. I don't dislike him. I'm not saying he's terrible. But if I'm breaking it down to, is the guy a championship caliber quarterback, my answer is no.
Thanks for the answer. So John in Winnipeg says, who is repping the East for the Grey Cup then, Mike?
Ooh. It will. I expect Toronto has played the most consistent ball. They've played the most consistent ball on both sides of the line. They're very good at special teams. I like what the coaching staff does. I think they're a prepared team. I think their defense can really get after it. Guys like Mwamba, I think, are great leaders. But I just think, because of what we've seen in the East, and I think, again, on a one-off, anything can happen. But I expect the Toronto Argos are going to be the team out of the East, and I expect them to play the Blue Bombers. And I'm just praying that it doesn't end up being a really, for a guy like me, drinking early kind of game. But let's be honest, that's going to happen anyway. So,
yeah. Hey, by the way, I'm sorry. Yeah. I got to say, sorry. I was remiss. I said earlier, Jevon Holland's from Toronto. Dolphin safety is from Coquitlam, BC. I should have known that. You'd think I was drinking with all those loud Bills fans Sunday. It was nice to see them going home dejected. But they're annoying. I thought Eagles fans were annoying. I thought Rider fans could be annoying. Bills fans are on another level. Ken Friedman says, does the NFL have a neutral medical spotter like the one that pulled Trevor Harris out of the CFL game with Hamilton July 11th? You seem to know a lot about this, Mike. Obviously, the NFL's probably got a team of medical people in press box to pull guys out.
I can't speak to the actual, personnel when it comes to that, but I do know that there are people representative who are there, and it probably is more than one, which is why I think this thing is going to be a little bit of trouble for Miami. I don't think they're going to be able to walk away from this. I think it was real evident on national television between what would be one of the premier matchups this past weekend. And the moment he got up after that whiplash effect on the back of the turf and he started to wobble, I almost felt sick to my stomach. The way that you get in UFC, or when someone takes a right hand from, Frazier or Ali, there's no way that wasn't his head. I think Miami is going to get themselves into hot water today.
More hot water. Great job, Mike. Appreciate it, man. Enjoy the sports. Talk soon.
Always love. Thanks, brother.
The inimitable Mike Richards from Saga 960. Hour 2 coming up after this break. Everybody stick around.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM certified pre-owned trucks and make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
And we were on the road with the Rough Riders. Joe Womack was our strength coach, and he was rooming with Ron Estee. I'm coming down the elevator with Joe Womack, and he is so mad. And I'm like, what's wrong, Joe? And he goes, you wouldn't believe what Estee did. He's in his underwear, and he emptied the minibar. Smarties and the Kit Kats, thinking it's free, thinking it was a gift basket. And Joe looks at me, it ain't funny.
This is the Rod Pedersen Show.
What is funny, by the way, in retrospect, that was a couple of Louisiana guys right there in that story. Joe Womack and Ron Estee, Hall of Famers. Yeah, how about that? Stories. Everybody loves the story. Yes, sir. I'm so proud of ourselves as we bring in the Moose from the NHL's Bermuda Triangle and the sweatpants capital and also the heartbeat of the Canadian Football League, the Heartland. How you doing, Moose? What's going on, man?
I'm doing great. What's got you proud?
That we, in hour one of the show, for those that might have just tuned in the podcast or might be listening to the replay on WQEE or maybe on Game Plus Television, just turn their TV on. In hour one, we covered the NFL Week 3 and the infamous butt punt and the exciting games that went down. NHL preseason wrap, previewed tonight's games in the NHL. CFL Week 16, probably had the balance of our talk was on the Canadian Football League. We talked Blue Jays, Aaron Judge, Canada West football, and junior hockey. We can all go. We can all go home for the day. No, listen. You may start to see me swoon a little bit because I had probably the toughest workout of my life this morning. The toughest workout at Orange Theory Fitness. So I'm a little woozy. I'm seeing stars. Reminds me of my chiropractor, Dr. Cohen. Anybody I know? I'll get to the comments. I want to hear from everybody. 902-518-3033. 902-518-3033. Wherever you're watching or listening from, all over North America on Game Plus TV or WQEE Radio, what you'd like us to talk about. Some things came up. Morning, Kevin, the medium. Good to hear from you. I'll get to let's hear from some new viewers. I love our regular viewers, our P1s, but what really people gravitated on was Tua Tagovailoa. Well, still can't. Nobody can say it. Tua Tagovailoa, the quarterback for the Dolphins, suffering from a clear head injury in the game and coming out briefly and then coming back in. And after the game, the Dolphins saying, no, it was a back injury. this morning on ESPN, which I don't think you're watching currently, but it was Rex Ryan. You love Rex Ryan. I've seen your tweets. Rex Ryan goes, they're lying. The Dolphins are lying. It's not his back, it's his head. And I wonder where you sit as a football-first guy. I'm sorry, dude. I saw Montreal Alouettes quarterback Trevor Harris come out in a winning drive because of a headshot that wasn't even a headshot. Burton Adams came in and they couldn't win the game. That call from the spotters booth, pulling your quarterback, lost them a game. Exact opposite happened Sunday in Miami here. Tua came out, went back in, and they won the game. I'm with the Dolphins, dude. You?
It depends on the situation, Rod, for me, because, you look at why the spotters are calling in from upstairs is because there's not enough trust in the coaches and the people on the field to make the right decision for their athletes. It's the old mentality of, can you walk? Can you see? Can you throw the football? Get in there. I don't care if your head's hurting. Get in there, play the game, right? The more we get to a better place, I think we'll remove that a little bit. I think you have to make good decisions. You need to get good info from your player, and you got to make smart decisions, to balance winning the football game, but also the long-term healthier player. So it's a gray area. I think if, you trust your guy that he's okay and he's not hurt, and you trust your doctors, then I think he should be able to go back in and play. But we have to be smart about making those decisions. It worked in that situation, and obviously overprotective when a spotter's calling down and it's not a headshot. That's unfortunate too, because Trevor Harris should have been able to go back into that game.
So you're on the Dolphins side or the NFL side?
I'm on the Dolphins side right now because I don't think, based on everything we've seen, that Tua's injury is bad. Like, I don't think it was a threat to put him back into the game. If they put him in and he was actually hurt, I'd be on the NFL side, but I'm not today.
Right. Thank you. I'm on the Dolphins side too, and it's not just because I live here. Ted in Red Deer says, Rod, CTE is why Tua shouldn't have played. Guys, it's okay to have your opinion, and it's okay for me to have mine. So I think Tua should have been allowed to go back in by virtue of that's what his team wanted. It's just what I say. Don't get pissed off, okay? Jeff Gordon writes in. He's watching on YouTube. Some of the new viewers, as I asked. Thank you. He says, anyone know who's playing at halftime? Yeah, Rihanna. How about that?
Hot damn.
I think he's referring to Grey Cup, but it was just announced on Sunday that it's Rihanna, right, for Super Bowl in Arizona, which will be there. Will be there, Moose. Can anybody find a bed for our COO, Lee Genier, by the way, for Grey Cup week? I was talking to him today. It'd be far easier to get a hotel in Arizona for the Super Bowl than I think the Queen City for Grey Cup. What about Chateau Dupont? Dupont. Is it Dupont or Dupont? Chateau Dupont.
Depends on how much the admission is. We'll change how we pronounce the name, Dupont. But I think depends on who I'm marketing it to, right? But I think we're going to turn this into an army barracks and probably have about 15 different cots set up. We'll all line across. I'll make a big pot of mashed potatoes every day. Bob's your uncle.
That'd be fantastic. From the Raging Dolphins Maniac watching on YouTube. Raging Dolphins Maniac. He's back. He said the NFL has independent concussions evaluators along with team doctors, and they have overruled the team doctors. Tua did not show any signs of mental problems later in the game. I don't think it's as easy as Tua, how many fingers? Okay, get in there. I don't think it's as easy as it looks now. I understand that there will be an investigation and so forth. And as I've learned, the Dolphins are on the radar of the NFL. And not that that's huge news because of the racial lawsuit brought against them by Brian Flores. Their owner is currently suspended. It's not huge, but there's more. And I learned on the weekend what other teams better watch their step to. Jeff Gordon says, LOL, I should have clarified. Grey Cup halftime. I don't want to be that guy, but I'm going to be that guy and say we're not the public relations arm of the Canadian Football League, so we'll find out when you find out. How about that?
How about that?
Last
Hell yes.
year's Grey Cup was in Hamilton. Do you remember who the halftime act is? I think I know.
Yeah, I really like this group. The Arkells did halftime, and they brought out some
I
help.
thought it was the Trues. Okay, sorry. They brought out some help.
I thought the Lumineers, was it the Lumineers that came out with them for a little bit, a song, or somebody else? Anyways, I really like it. That's kind of my jam, and so I thought it was really good.
Well, dang, I thought it was the Trues. But I'm not a rock fan. If it was a country artist, I could have told you right now.
Yeah.
Nelson,
with Apple Music taking over the NFL halftime show, there was a lot of talk that it was going to be Taylor Swift doing the NFL halftime. And then on the weekend, they flipped it and announced Rihanna. So that'll be good.
Well, and a host of others. I mean, I got to tell you, we went to the Super Bowl last year in Los Angeles. You were there. I've never seen anything like it. Never. I mean, you got to have some money, which, by the way, with the rich guys I was hanging around with this weekend, as I told you, it was an expensive weekend, okay? They wanted to see if I could hang with a big dog, which I did, but I couldn't do it every weekend. And I couldn't go to Super Bowl every weekend or every year because who all was playing, man? Snoop Dogg. Well, he played his own concert. Blake Shelton, he played halftime as well. From like Wednesday to Sunday, there was concerts every night. Like, it was pretty mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah.
And COVID was still a thing. Imagine if there was no COVID, what a gong show that would be, which is what Arizona will be this year.
Unbelievable. I mean, it was the Mecca when you can get Eminem and Mary J. Blige and 50 Cent and Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg, all of them on the stage. It's wild.
Jeff, the Stamps fan. Jeff in Winnipeg, Jeff Cabilla says, did you hang with Snoop Dogg? Not this time. He wanted to smoke weed. And homie, don't play that game. Jeff, the Stamps fan, says regarding hotels in Regina, he says, Rod, once you recommended the Empire Hotel to me. It was lovely. I'm sure. I got a great cold beer store downstairs. As a recovering alcoholic, trust me, I know where all the best ones were. Colin in Ottawa says, we all know the Sheepdogs are the Grey Cup halftime show. That wouldn't be so bad. And here we are getting into this daytime sports and entertainment talk. And I'm okay with it. I think you're okay with it. This is what the viewers want. Jeff Gordon says, who does Rod want to see in the halftime show? Country, rock, or pop? Clearly a new viewer. He doesn't understand I like two kinds of music, country and western. That's not actually true. I like hip-hop music. In the 90s, we called it dance. Now they call it hip-hop. So I feel it needs to be Canadian, and I don't care. I would rather see Gordon Lightfoot performing at a halftime than Rihanna if it was Grey Cup. Or as long as it's Canadian, I don't care. But I don't feel you're as married to that concept.
I'm not. Yeah, I'm not as married to it. But I do think there is value in it. Like, I'm not discounting that. There is value in it. So it'll be interesting to see who they go with and who ends up performing at halftime. But, we're talking about, a couple of months away now, almost to the day. So it's time to figure out who it's going to be and start announcing that and seeing if you can use that to sell the last few tickets.
Yeah. Corey May. I love this. We're getting some new viewers writing in. Corey May says, Saskatchewan has lots of great homegrown music. Love the Sheepdogs. Dude, I got in some huge fights with CFL people. Shocking, I know. And Rider people over this Grey Cup concept of mine that it needs to be Canadian, which, by the way, I just got tired of fighting, and that's why I'm in South Florida. It's your league. It's your team. You go. You'd go do your thing, and I'll go do mine. Because ours is working out great. I've said it 1 million times. I'll say it again. Because they used to say to me, no, Rod, no local Canadian acts. We need to appear big time. And I said, why don't you conduct yourselves big time the other 364 days out of the year instead of just one. And then we'll have something. Anyways, Alan in Saskatoon writes in, he says, I think they're having a problem getting a halftime show as you got to have money. CFL marketing department is a bit to be desired. Justin Bieber played for free, did he not? In 2012, I believe that was the story.
Yeah, I think you're right. And the Super Bowl halftime show is always free. It's not a paid gig to play the Super Bowl halftime show, because what ends up happening is the artists know, and even the biggest ones, look at Snoop and Eminem and 50 and Dr. Dre, they all know that they're worth millions of dollars, but they know that when they get put back into the mainstream culture and the spotlight, streams go up, sales go up, merch goes up. They make that all back and then some. They can now roll out a new set of tour dates, right? I don't know if the Grey Cup is that big of a draw for them, the same, and if they pay them or not, but I would assume they wouldn't pay the Grey Cup halftime show either.
Nor should they necessarily. It's a marketing opportunity. That's how a lot of the things, how I roll. I won't do stuff for free, but if there's something in it for me that gives equal value to both, I'll do it for free if I'm getting something out of it. And that's a business deal that I'm talking about, and that's what these entertainers do. Roger Yee in Calgary says, Rod, they messed up. They should have had hometown girl Jess Muskaluk play Grey Cup halftime. Here's the thing. I mean, not hometown girl per se. She's from Langenberg, the home of Darren Dreger. But not only is she homegrown, but she's good. She hasn't been on the scene that long. We've all seen her come up since high school, but the rest of the continent's getting turned on to her now and her music. So she would have cheap wine and cigarettes, and country boys love country girls. That's a great, catchy, bubblegum, new country song. I like the old classic stuff, but I've seen Jess live, seen her perform, met her many times. She's a great gal. Todd Pinkney says, from Pinks, says maybe the halftime show should just be the RP show live on set. As my mom would say, wouldn't that be a trick? Pinks wrote in here earlier, by the way, on the the Bills offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey, losing his ever-loving mind. Here it is. He said, who did the best with the Microsoft tablets, Tom Brady or the Bills offensive coordinator, Ken Dorsey? At halftime, when they blew with clock management, Ken Dorsey didn't do a thing. It was like he was watching a movie. I remember distinctly thinking, wow, it's awesome that he's keeping his cool in this obviously volatile and stressful situation. And then at the end of the game, you saw it, man. He made Lapo look like a kindergarten teacher. He's ripping stuff out of the wall, slamming it, broke the camera. I'm like, glad I didn't tweet that. Sticking to my rule of not tweeting during NFL games because things change. Anyways, what a wonderful start to Hour 2. We'll be right back. The Moose and I. By the way, Stefan Kalenchuk coming up from Pro Leisure Golf Tour a little later on in Hour 2, and the commissioner of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, Pal McIntyre, live from the showcase. We're on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and on your home of Southern Sports and Talk, WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Some of the challenges we face with the CT technology that we have today is some of the deficiencies in around integration with some of our other systems. The addition of 2 new 4D simulators within the programming, the Saskatchewan Cancer Agency is going to have significant impact on the care we provide to the people of Saskatchewan.
People donate blood for moments like this.
But there are lots of reasons why Canada's Lifeline needs donors every day.
Like the fact that someone with leukemia can need up to 8 units of blood a week.
Or that donated blood lasts no longer than 42 days.
Or to help new moms and babies, like Henry.
There's lots of reasons to donate blood. That's why we need donors every day.
The need for blood is constant. Join Toyota and our Toyota dealers in supporting Canada's Lifeline.
I gotta hit the beat. I gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy.
Nestled in the scenic Qu'Appelle Valley, just 20 minutes northwest of Regina, is one of the finest golf courses in all of Saskatchewan, the Deer Valley Golf Club. The clubhouse has a full-service restaurant, and customers can enjoy a casual dining experience with spectacular views of the golf course and valley. A fully stocked golf shop, staffed by PGA of Canada professionals, is equipped to meet all of your golf apparel and equipment needs. Book your tee time, family event, or corporate tournament today at the Deer Valley Golf Club. Call 306-731-1445.
Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Business owners and marketers. Okay, we know you think we're pretty cool. That's why we want you to share in the coolness factor. Partner with the Rod Pedersen Show and market your business every weekday to sports lovers just like yourself. Take advantage of our many cost-effective commercial and promotional opportunities. Tell the world about your business. Yes, the world. Thanks to Game Plus TV and the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. Contact us today and find out how you can be a part of Canada's fastest-growing sports talk show, The Rod Pedersen Show.
The RP show continues. Beautiful day in South Florida. They all are. The Moose is with us. I have, not breaking news. This is interesting, though. It came down on Sunday. What a time to do it. Oh, those Miami Marlins. They are sharp. They announced Don Mattingly will not be back as manager of the Miami Marlins. He made the announcement Sunday toward the end of his 7th season in charge of the MLB club. Mattingly's contract expires when the season ends. He's the Marlins' all-time leader in managerial wins. But they're bad. Let's bring in the Moose now. Wouldn't you think if you had news that you wanted to slip under the rug and you're a Miami team, let's do it while the Dolphins are playing in the game of the week in the NFL? Smart, hey?
Yeah, this is not going to. It's going to be a footnote on the Sunday sports highlights or the sports news on the newspapers. It's not going to be breaking news. So yeah, slipping that under there. Don Mattingly's been there a long time. He's had a tremendous amount of success, but it's important too for them to move in a different direction. But yeah, snuck that in there.
Yeah, smart, very smart. There are PR tricks, by the way. I wonder sometimes if they're being passed on to the youngins. The poll question today for Capital Automall Universal Collision Center: what should we talk about on Monday's RP show? On Twitter, CFL is leading with 53% of the vote. The NFL is next with 24% of the vote. And the NHL is third with 23% of the vote. I should have said other, if anybody wants us to talk about other, and I was remiss in that. Clark, what's the YouTube results, if you don't mind me asking? Ha! Okay, the CFL's come out on top, 44% on YouTube. They're leading there, which incidentally, by the way, one of the guys, I talked about the rich guys that I was hanging out with all weekend. One of the guys, anybody who follows my social media saw that. Super agent Gil Scott's one of them. He's got NFL clients, NHL clients, including Barry Trotz and Bruce Boudreau, and a lot of CFL clients. That dude could talk CFL all day. and did all damn day. And by the way, Ryland Spencer's watching in Seattle. He says WHL. Okay, we will get to that. He's watching in Seattle on YouTube, but we are carried there on TDS cable all through the state of Oregon and the state of Washington. Todd in Red Deer says, hey, Rod, have you noticed the difference in the CFL since they moved the hash marks? I haven't, but I'm just a fan. They made them narrower, and we'll put it to our football guy, Darren. I really haven't. Statistically, they'll tell you the scoring's up. The last I saw, like 12%, and they'll probably say that's why. The field goal percentage is at least the same, maybe a little less. This hasn't been easier season for kickers. If you've watched the game, you know what they're missing converts, for the love of God, let alone field goals. And starting out from your 40 now after a field goal, as opposed to the 35, people don't really notice that. So do you feel like the hash marks or any of the rule changes have made a big difference?
No, I really don't. I think, starting the next series at the 40 is probably more significant than narrowing the field when it comes to the hash marks. But no, it just balances the offense a little bit more, if anything. It makes it a little tougher on the defense. But no, I don't think it's been a massive change at all.
From Todd Pinks, one of our Priority One viewers, he says the Tampa Bay Lightning, Florida Panthers have been canceled due to the hurricane. Is that Hurricane Ian again or Tropical Storm Ian? I joked about COVID, then I ended up getting it twice. I'm not going to joke about this storm around here, but where I'm living, people aren't overly concerned. I'm on the Atlantic coast side, and you're talking about a game in Tampa on the Gulf Coast side. Seems like, and that's 3 hours away. So not as many people concerned where we are. Hey, John in Edmonton, one of our big supporters there in the City of Champions, writes in, Darren, and he says, Rod, rumor has it Cam Newton might join the Edmonton Elks or another NFL team. You want to take that first, and then I'll give my thoughts?
I don't have thoughts, Rod. I don't. I mean, until we see him on the field and he's signed, it's not of interest to me. Cam Newton right now is not somebody who's going to come in. I mean, he has talent. I mean, don't want to discredit Cam Newton at all, but you can't expect Cam Newton right now to come in and be a savior for anybody at this point where he is in his career. I think he can play. I think he's serviceable. I think he's got a lot of upside, but this wouldn't be massive breaking news.
No, couple things. What the heck? It's September. We're in the home stretch of the Canadian Football League season, and the NHL season hasn't started yet. So I will talk to CFL, and the viewers are telling us that's what they want. So I'm okay with it. My phone was going off yesterday at Dolphin Stadium from a coach who was asked, and he's in the States, by the way. He's formerly in the CFL, not anymore. And he was asking what the situation was with Bo Levi Mitchell and if the Stampeders were going to trade him. And so I'm texting him back and forth, and I said, the word is he's not going to be traded. And it doesn't sound like he wants to be traded. I haven't heard from his camp for a couple of weeks since this benching started. The way he was handling it, although professionally at the time on the outside, simmering on the inside, who could blame him? Right, Moose? Who could blame him? But he handled it very professionally, and I don't think Bo wants to be moved. I don't think the Stampeders want to move him. And this coach was saying to me, well, how do they fit him under the cap? I said, nothing changes. The number 2 guy becomes number 1. They make the same amount of money, right? Yeah. Now, where it gets interesting is the end of the year. And the rumor is the Hamilton Tiger Cats are looking for a quarterback for sure for next year, maybe even for the beginning, or for sure for next year, maybe for the rest of this year. The trade deadline's coming up on October the 5th. Cats haven't clinched yet. Do you foresee anything happening before the trade deadline?
I don't now. I mean, it feels like we're the only ones talking about it. And when there's not a lot when there's no chatter, no, smoke, there's probably no fire. So while I think it would be a good football decision for both sides, yes. But do I think it'll happen now? I wouldn't bet on it, but it would be smart. I mean, Dane Evans had the 5-touchdown game against Winnipeg, and shows that the ability is clearly there, but he just hasn't been able to capture that on a week-to-week basis. It's 1 week here and then 4 weeks off and then a little bit here, and it's unreliable going into the playoffs. So I think that should be a concern for Hamilton.
Jeff, the Stampeders fan, writes in. He says, I remember Rod called me an idiot when I said Bo would remain a Stamp through the 2022 season. That's because you are an idiot. It has nothing to do with the Bo Levi trade. You have to separate the two. I think the term for that is compartmentalizing things. Had nothing to do with the Bo trade. It's because I think you're an idiot.
How about
David
that?
in Winnipeg. We're going to swing this around to hockey. And all levels here. David Asplund in Winnipeg writes that he says, I hope you're doing good in Florida, Rod. Heard things are potentially getting ugly there with weather. We're on it. I should mention, since we're on it, the topic, Darren, if the power goes out, and I'm not talking about during the show, there's a very good chance the power will be out for 2 to 3 days. If you don't hear from me this week, be prepared to host the show, okay? Consider yourself warned. Okay, thank you.
I'm ready.
Couple things. Okay. Kevin the Medium, we'll get to that, but as I said, I believe we just said we were switching to hockey. Ryland Spencer in Seattle is watching, Thunderbirds fan, I think a season ticket holder. Seahawks too. He says, Bedard to Seattle. Yeah. There was a time I would have actually thought that's happened. I mean, like, Bedard to Seattle? You say nobody's talking about the Bo Levi potential trade. Is that honestly because you don't think it'll happen? Nobody's talking about Connor Bedard being traded either. And, well, Lou was on here last week. Peter Labardius, Calgary Flames color guy. And I said, I'm the only guy talking about them trading Bedard. And Lou's like, yes, you are. It's not like Lou's not following it. It's not like all of hockey is not following it. You're there in the sweatpants capital. Is everybody so afraid of the Pats and their owner that they won't talk about it? Because if that's the case, then things have changed. I'm not going to get into why I don't want to do that job anymore as a play-by-play guy and a team reporter. It's like the Dolphins, Rex Ryan come out and say, the Dolphins are lying. Well, I don't want to be the team rep anymore lying. It doesn't feel good. So I think there's a difference between Canada and America. You give your opinion in Canada or report the truth, and it's like, off with his head. That guy's a prick. Nobody's going on his show. I don't know what you want. Connor Bedard needs to be traded. Why is he not being traded, and why is nobody talking about it?
Fans are selfish. And I think why it's not being talked about here is because fans don't want him to be traded. And what they want is they want the Pats to trade for the rest of the league's superstars to make the team better, to go after Memorial Cup. It's like, we've got Connor Bedard. We want to trade and make our team better. That's the sense I'm getting. And I think that's the same with a lot of teams. They don't want to be the team trading away a star.
Why are we talking about the fans at all? This has nothing to do with the fans. The owner doesn't want to trade him. And that's wrong. So everybody knows he's got to go. Their staff knows he's got to go. And they're saying to us, we can't talk about it. We won't talk about it. That's great. But I'm still going to talk about it. Darren, you understand the fans have nothing to do with this. You understand that, right?
Well, of course.
Yeah. So
yeah, of course. Did
I miss something? Why are you talking about the fans? The fans have nothing to do with this. But
that's why nobody's talking about it. Because it's not of interest to want to talk about trading him until we get. And I think but I do think the conversation, Rod, I do think the conversation will pick up after Christmas. When you get towards the January, I believe it's the 10th trade deadline, I think the conversation will pick up then. depending on what the Pats have done between now and then.
Okay, I apologize. I misunderstood you. But again, It's not about the fans. The media is not talking about it. Nobody's talking about it. I mean, this is the thing. What do I love? The CFL. I love junior hockey. Where's the media coverage? I go to read Greg Drinnan's blog because it's like the only thing I can find. He only updates it twice a week. And one of that's about kidney transplants, which incidentally, there's nothing wrong with that. But there's just no coverage of it. Ryland in Seattle says, with or without Bedard, Regina is no better than third in the division. Send him to Seattle or Kamloops and bring in every draft pick they own for the next 3 years. Colin in Ottawa says, does Bedard have to go because the team is so bad, Rod? I honestly don't know, as I don't follow the WHL. It's not about the WHL. It's about junior hockey. If they keep Connor Bedard and miss the playoffs, what's the point? But if you trade him to Kamloops, who's hosted the Memorial Cup, or Seattle, who's probably going to be there, you can set your team up literally for the next 2 to 3 years. But Paddock's done it before. That's the point. If you keep him, you're going to suck for the next 5-6 years. And you know what? Pats fans are smart. They know that. John Paddock knows that. That's why he needs. Why can't people see this? They don't have. He's not Connor McDavid, where you're going to keep for his whole career and going to suck and go up and down. What's this? His 8th year? They finally got to a conference. Bedard's. This is his last year. So why keep him if you're going to suck and miss the play? Why can't people see this? Anyways, I think we're done for the day, Moose, with you and I. Thanks for the time. It's been fun. Okay.
Hey, it's been a pleasure.
Yes, as always. Stefan Kalenchuk joins us next from Pro Leisure Golf Tour, and Kyle McIntyre, the SJ, coming up after that. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and your home of Southern sports and sports talk where they can't get enough Connor Bedard talk in Atlanta. WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino. Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital GMC. Reserve your brand new truck or SUV today. Check out our great selection of in-stock GM-certified pre-owned trucks. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big, and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital GMC, making back to busy easy.
Is it time to take your event online? Bring it to IKS Live. We've got a fully customized virtual event platform with remote guest support for your next fundraiser, talk show, conference, performance, and more. IKS Live offers live streaming to Facebook Live and YouTube and pre-recorded capabilities, both in our studio with green screen available and on location with pre-production and post-production services. Visit us at ikslive.ca.
Does this look familiar? Your fans deserve an incredible arena experience. It's time for an upgrade. Stunning graphics. Revenue opportunities are just the beginning with our in-venue display systems and scoring technology. Let us help you find the best solution for your facility. DDG. Always delivering the best fan experience. Find us at ddgregina.com.
Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the beat. Gotta hit the
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
beat. I gotta hit the beat.
Grey Eagle Resort and Casino.
Here's how your business can be a part of Canada's fastest growing sports talk show. All you have to do is contact us, and we will tell you all about the dynamic and exciting marketing opportunities we have, utilizing a fully integrated 360-degree multi-platform. Imagine your business seen and heard across Canada on Game Plus TV and around the world on the Rod Pedersen Digital Network. You will use one of the most overused expressions in sports. You gotta be kidding me. Get your business involved. Contact the Rod Pedersen Show today.
RP Show continues from not only the fishing capital, not only the fitness capital, but also the golf capital, and that is the state of Florida. Episode number 850 of your favorite daytime sports and entertainment talk show continues, and I'm excited to chat with our next guy. Stefan Kalenchuk joins us from Pro Leisure Golf Tour, and I've seen the commercials for this. It looks, I was talking about this being the golf capital. I can't imagine where a Hawaii rates on that tour, but that's where they're going. Stefan, welcome to the RP Show. How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, and just so that you Hawaii state is obviously the Mai Tai capital, so that's important as well to mix that in as well.
The Mai Tai capital. I'll take your word for that. So, look, you're partnered up with my very good friend Sheldon Lasham on this Pro Leisure Golf Tour. What would you like our viewers to know about it today?
Yeah, well, I'll give you a bit of the background of it, too, because ultimately my background has been in professional sports for 13 and a half years prior to venturing out on my own with a marketing consultancy. And it just kind of came as a opportunity to combine some of my loves, which is sports, travel, obviously always a good time to be in Hawaii at any time of the year, but especially in the winter when we're escaping the cooler weather in most of the country. So at the end of the day, it was an opportunity to go down to Ko'olina and to create something that will be a unique experience for people to feel like they're a pro, but you don't have to be a pro golfer. The joke is that you have to be a pro at good time. It's all about a 3-day golf tournament, a 1-week stay at the Four Seasons in Ko'olina, which is obviously the top end luxury resort on the island. And as well, we've catered it so that there's a number of great VIP experiences, such as a sunset cruise, dinners and some breakfasts and brunches. As we also have a VIP luau experience right next door at the Paradise Cove Luau, which is the best luau in all of Oahu. So it's a really unique thing. And when we created this, we were supposed to launch, it was April of 2020. We all know what happened in March 2020 when it looked like Rudy Gobert was touching the microphones and the world shut down. And so this has been in the works for a number of years. And so we're so excited to finally launch it, kick it off. And yeah, so if anyone is kind of looking for something to do now that they're winding down their golf season in the summers and getting those last couple games in before the weather turns, just keep those clubs out and come join us in Ko'olina, Hawaii, because we're going to have a heck of a time.
Okay, well, that is a wonderful background on it. And by the way, I'll tell our viewers that when we're done the interview with Stefan, we have a commercial for it, which I believe, if this is the ad that I've seen, features Arash Madani. So you got my guy Arash involved pumping this up. So so this is the first one. It's been in the works since prior to COVID, but you got that all the way. So this is the first one you're doing?
That's right, yeah. And so we're really excited to kick it off because, like I said, I mean, we were ready to go in 2020 and to launch. And then with the Ko'olina Golf Club and the Four Seasons Resort and our partners down there, we've kind of had to stall, but we've been really cooking up the program and getting it really tailored in so that this first one is going to go off really well. And we've had some tremendous excitement around it. And so right out of the gate, we've had a lot of people just sign up for more info and all that. There's still spots available, obviously. So thank you for plugging that. But we are filling up and we're seeing some great interest. And I think now that people are back, the kids are back at school, people are getting back into work, they're looking for that winter holiday. And this is the perfect opportunity.
Yeah, so I think you're explaining it very well. I think the commercial, because I've seen it, will really get people hooked. But just to recap, you're saying you get treated like a pro. You get treated like a PGA or live golf star, but you don't have to be a pro. Is that kind of what I'm getting out of this?
Definitely. I mean, ultimately, it's a VIP travel experience surrounding the sport of golf. So there's a 3-day golf tournament at the Colina Golf Club, and that's where the Lotte Championship was played numerous times. The LPGA Championship, that's where our friend Brooke Henderson won back-to-back tournaments a couple of years back, just before COVID. And so it's a championship course, and it's right across from where the Four Seasons is. The luau's right next door. And so it's an opportunity to, yes, get treated like a pro, where we're going to obviously make sure that you have a VIP experience on not only the golf part of it, but also just the experience. And it goes from December 10th to 16th that week. And so ultimately, if you're not at the links, there's tremendous amenities right around the Colina area. The Four Seasons itself is, let's be honest, it's the Four Seasons. So, and one of the things that I want to get across too is that when we put these packages together with our partners down there, one of the things that I want to implore to people is that to get this opportunity, if you just went and booked on your own to the Four Seasons or online, you would pay much more, because we were able to work with our partners to get a tremendous deal at the Four Seasons and with the golf green fees, and get prime times with all the activities. So we're really excited to make this offering for people.
The Pro Leisure Golf Tour to Hawaii in December. How many spots you got available?
So we are selling out at 50, and we are more than halfway there. And October 1st, we have a deadline of people that have put in a deposit to decide whether they're in or not. So we're going to find out where the rubber hits the road this week of whether we are going to fill up. But what I can do for you, Rod, because obviously I really appreciate you having me on to get us over the hump and to the final 18, shall we say. But what I want to do is put a promo code of RP Show for you guys. And the next 3 people that come up and put in RP Show as the promo code, I'll upgrade their room up to an oceanfront room at the Four Seasons. So the top room that you could possibly get.
A dream. Okay, promo code RP Show. So where do they go to do it, Stefan?
So they go to proleisuregolftour.com, proleisuregolftour.com, all one word. And then right on there, it'll walk you through the steps of how to see the different packages. And that's one thing, if you don't mind, I'll touch on, because when we were talking about starting this, we had some tremendous feedback about 3 different packages. Because there's the guy or the gal that wants to just go and play golf, and they're very serious about it, and they just want to have their own experience in their own room. But then there's also the groups of guys or gals that do their golf trips every year too, that want to bunk up and have some, just that trip of luxury that's kind of planned and curated for them. And then there's, of course, and I'm sure, a lot of us that have families where, it's great to go, but we might have to bring, our significant other who may not play golf, but loves being by the pool, the spa, doing all the lovely things, and they will partake in all the other activities except for the golf. So they'll be there for the dinners and the luau and all that opportunity too. So there's 3 different packages that you can get more information on the site, and whatever your need is, that's we got a package for you. So it's really exciting, because we're seeing a lot of interest in all 3 packages.
ProLeisureGolfTour.com.
That's right. That's the one. And looking forward to getting out there, and only 2 more months, and then we'll be out in Hawaii swinging the clubs.
All right, folks, and use the promo code RP Show. Stefan, pleased to meet you virtually. I think I'll see you when I'm in your neck of the woods here shortly, and I appreciate this. Good luck with everything.
Thank you so much, Rod. Thanks for having me on. Have a good one.
You too. The commercial, by the way, coming up to start off our next commercial break here, but a sports update before we do. It didn't take much to get up for a visit from the New York Yankees. Aaron Judge and the Bronx Bombers visit Toronto for a 3-game series that starts tonight. Judge is 1 home run shy of Roger Maris's American League single-season record. Of the Yankees can clinch the pennant with a win in Toronto this week. The Edmonton Oilers, who defeated the Winnipeg Jets 4-0 Sunday in NHL preseason play, will visit the Seattle Kraken Monday night in NHL exhibition action. They return home Wednesday for a preseason tilt with the new-look Flames, who swept the Vancouver Canucks in a pair of split squad games on Sunday. A lot of sports news coming down today. A source has told the Associated Press that there will be a joint review by the NFL and its Players Association of what went into the decision to allow Dolphins quarterback Tua Tagovailoa to return to the game Sunday here in Miami, despite what was called a head injury. The Dolphins quarterback briefly left the game after hitting the back of his head on the turf, came back in, and the Dolphins won it. I'm actually on Miami's side in this. And news Monday morning, 7-time NASCAR champion Jimmy Johnson's retiring from full-time racing and will turn his focus towards spending time with his family. The 47-year-old Johnson says his future race schedule will include no more than 10 bucket list events. This sports update for Ballers Rec Room, your official home of Slow Pitch, open Wednesday to Sunday for the Tap Brewhouse and Drive-Thru Liquor Store. And for Red Bull Canada, Red Bull gives you wings. The president, Kyle McIntyre, joins us next. It's the RP Show on Game Plus TV, YouTube Live, and WQEE 99.1 FM.
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.
Golf, Hawaii, and the Four Seasons. Imagine picking up your clubs and feeling like a pro for one whole week in paradise. Well, you can get that chance this December with 5-star accommodations, a 3-day tournament at a championship course, and loads of VIP experiences. The Pro Leisure Golf Tour is going to make you feel like a pro, even if your golf game doesn't. I'm Arash Madani, and I want to invite you to join the PLGT in Ko'olina, Hawaii for 1 week this December. It includes 7 days, 6 nights accommodations at the luxury oceanfront Four Seasons Ko'olina and a 3-round golf tournament at the Ko'olina Golf Club. And that's only the beginning. Away from the links, there are VIP experiences, Top Chef-inspired meals, a luau, sunset cruises, and much more. So whether you're looking to grab your golfing buddies for a tropical getaway, treat your partner to a paradise escape this winter, or just wanting to find an exclusive VIP experience to take part in, the PLGT is perfect for you.
Snacking all around. Something everyone can love.
And that's a wrap on summer, everyone. Things are about to get back to busy. Work, school, errands, they're all coming back. That's why we make buying easy at Capital Ford Lincoln. We have a great selection of brand new F-150s in stock. Drive it off the lot today. Reserve an incoming unit or pre-order the perfect vehicle for you. And make some cold hard cash by selling us your used vehicle. We pay big and you can skip the hassle of selling privately. Plus, our service department is always here to help with any make or model. Capital Ford Lincoln, making back to busy easy. Universal Collision Center is Saskatchewan's premier auto body shop. Our extensive process ensures that every vehicle that comes through our state-of-the-art facilities is returned pre-accident condition, and that every UCC customer experience is an easy one. We're certified to repair all makes, all models, and all luxury brands, and Universal Auto Spa offers full-service detailing packages to suit you and your vehicle. Plus, we're the official body shop of your Saskatchewan Rough Riders. Universal Collision Center, 3910 Rochdale Boulevard and 2355 First Avenue in Regina.
Download Dark Horse Bets today.
I gotta hit the beat.
All right, we are into the final segment. We call it Overtime, proudly presented by the Four Seasons Sports Palace, your home for the UFC and the National Football League. Lots going on today. Lots of comments have come in from viewers, and we'll get to those in a moment. But we're pleased to welcome the, is he new anymore? The president of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, Kyle McIntyre, from the annual showcase going on in Warman. Let's bring him in. President McIntyre, can I call you the new president? I guess it is your first season. Do you feel new on the job still? It's been a few months.
Well, it's been almost 7 months, Rod, and it's gone by really quickly, and we're really excited about what we got going on in the SJHL this season.
7 months, holy smokes. Yeah, well, you should be. And you know what? Our viewers said, hey, although we've added new elements and moved the show and so forth, you better keep talking junior hockey. And I said, don't worry, we're not going to stop that. We are not going to stop that because that's number one for me in my heart. So tell me how, I mean, you're a couple weeks into the regular season. Tell our viewers that don't know what the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League Showcase is there in Warman, Sask.
Okay, so the whole point of it is to bring all 12 SJHL teams to a centralized location close to a major city so that we can get lots of eyes on our prospects and our teams from NHL teams, from Central Scouting, from NCAA schools, from U Sports schools, and from ACAC. So it's a one-stop shop place for our NHL scouts and our college scouts to come and see the best that the SJHL has to offer.
Yes, I've been to many of them, and as the scouts have told me, it's one-stop shopping. They love it. And obviously the college scouts feel the same way, and the major junior too. So you're in day 2. How's the action been?
Oh, I'll tell you what competitive balance. Like right now we have Humboldt on the ice against Larange, and Larange has got a real competitive team. Of course, Killer Kaminsky, the coach, is on a little bit of an extended vacation, but Kyle Schneider has done an excellent job, and it's a very competitive game. And last time I checked, it was 2-1 Humboldt.
How's it gone over in Warman? Have you been to the event before? I mean, I know that you're SJHL alum, but have you been to that particular event in that arena before?
No, I haven't. It's my first time through. So last night I was pretty impressed. We had 2 games yesterday, 4:30, 7:30. We had about 800 fans. Today we have about 1,000 school kids in the building. The energy is absolutely electric. Last night it was good. We had a number of teams from Saskatoon Minor Hockey U15. 8 of them are wearing SJHL monikers and colors. And so we've had those teams come and meet the older clubs and cheer the teams on. And so the building has been electric. The play is extremely fast-paced, very competitive. We had some excellent games. Last night we had a goalie from Yorkton. He had a 41 save shutout and a goal that was credited to him like game star of the night. So you know what? It's good. The level of play is much better than I can remember, much better than when I played, Rod. But certainly it's been a good event for our fans and for the scouts, and most importantly for our players.
It's funny you say that level of play. You'll have to come on a South Florida vacation and come to Florida Atlantic University. I watched them play Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University on the weekend. I just would like to get your take on that quality of play. I put it somewhere between Prairie Junior League and the SJHL. But you're right. The kids are better than ever. Ryland's watching in Seattle. He says, I wish I could get out there. Love those showcase events. Ted in Red Deer says, great show. Let's go Yankees. You mentioned the Saskatoon U15 team, league, with the SJHL tie-in. When I saw that announcement, I thought it was fantastic. Can you explain that to our viewers, what's happening there for the first time ever, from what I understand, in that league in Saskatoon?
Yeah. So we have a partnership with Saskatoon Minor Hockey, and they approached the SJHL and wanted to rebrand 8 of their citywide 15 UA teams, and they wanted to use SJHL colors and teams. And so we have 8 clubs, and they're really flattered. Like, it was great seeing the big kids and the younger kids interact last night. And our hope would be that, playing 15 UA, your hockey career is not over. Hockey is not a straight pathway of development, as you would know, Rod. So we're hoping that, some of our kids from our 15 UA clubs in Saskatoon are going to aspire to stay in Saskatchewan and play in the SJHL.
And on behalf of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, I know you won't want to speak for the other Junior A leagues across Canada, even though you're in contact with them. What's the outlook for Junior A hockey this season and beyond, coming out of COVID?
Well, I'll tell you what, we're having a full return to play. I've been in a number of rinks here this fall already. The rinks are full. People are energetic. The product on the ice is excellent. People are happy to be back in the rink, and they're happy to have the players in the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League doing outreach in the communities and in schools, and it's been fantastic. You know what? Like, I think we're going to have one of our best seasons ever.
Good. Well, sounds like you're off to a great start. Where can people watch the games, Kyle?
Well, we're watching on SaskTel Max. I think it's channel 48 and 348. And then anyone that's a subscriber to Hockey TV, the SJHL, all the games are televised for the showcase there as well. And we got Rusty from Bamboo Shoots, and we got IKS Media up here. And you know what? I'll tell you what. They're doing a great job promoting our kids and promoting our league.
All right, Kyle, I appreciate the time. Good luck with it. We'll be seeing you soon. I appreciate you coming on. Have fun.
Thank you for having me on, and I hope to see you on that golf trip that Paul Druin is going to sponsor us to go on.
How about that, right? Stay tuned. Stay tuned, Kyle. Appreciate it. Kyle McIntyre, the president of the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League, joining us from the showcase. Thanks, guys. Okay, before we roll, Ryland says, good to hear the Junior A is coming back from COVID. Love that level. As do I. That was great news. Colin in Ottawa says, how does the league assign refs over such an expansive area like Saskatchewan and northern Manitoba? They drive. That's as simple as I can say. They drive. Just like the teams. I know those guys very well. Some interesting CFL news. I'll tell you to go to 3downnation.com. The power rankings are out for this week 17. I didn't know Ken Dorsey, the Bills coordinator that went nuts yesterday, played in the CFL. I didn't know that. Lots of great stuff at 3Down. We'll see you tomorrow. More fun, great sports discussion. I didn't see all of the guests, but I know it includes Bernie Nichols, the Kings and Rangers great. So thanks to our guests today. Most of all, thanks to you for tuning in. We'll see you at noon Eastern on Game Plus and WQEE.
Who has more fun than us?
Have you subscribed to the Rod Pedersen Show YouTube channel yet? Head to youtube.com/The Rod Pedersen Show now.